Hello and welcome back to MDG Media. This is the final round back nine FPO lead card coverage of the 2025 Konopiště Open. Only 9 holes remain, separating our lead card from that coveted title of Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe Elite Champion. I'm Connor Wood, and with me, Andrew Gum.
So happy to be here. Legendary tournament. Really historical site to get to play on here. It's been a real joy, and we get to find out now who's going to be our champion. It's looking like Kristin is just going to walk this thing in this beautiful park. She's done everything she needs to do on that front nine to just give herself an easy ride.
And of course, anything can happen, but you see her dominance through the first 2.5 rounds here, sitting 8 strokes above second place. A lot of players in that 2 to 6th battle though, and the podium is still very much up for grabs by a lot of different contenders on our lead card. Saarinen, Emilie, Nesse, and Anneli, Tõugjas-Männiste, each of them only 1 stroke separated from the others. We kick it off here on hole 10. Andrew, talk to us about it.
Hole 10 is 92 meters. This is the tee pad you see on the left that we're flying over. We started from the MPO. It's a double mando hole, late in the flight there, but pretty wide and generous. You got some overhanging branches right here that you don't want to get caught up in. But yeah, you see the basket right there for the FPO. It's pretty much a straight shot. Forehand plays, backhand, whatever you want. You know, just pick and hit your line. It's a little bit downhill after the mando, and maybe kind of almost all the way, but particularly right after you pass that mando, it slopes away. Here you see the forehand. Kristin's been nailing this all week long. This one's a little sawed off maybe. Ends up there, just on the circle's edge.
Within her range, and to be honest, at this point with such a lead, I think her priority is just getting it through the mandos and having safe progress. She knows she'll make some of those putts every now and again. Ida sneaking underneath those branches, and that late fade bringing her back in the right width, fires a touch long about circle's edge. She's been there a lot today so far, already in the front 9. We see here Silva.
A little low. Gets some great ground play though, and skips it over that little crest. Just about 15 meters left for the birdie, but she's really good from that range.
Certainly another player who is having a birdie chance from anywhere on the green. Silva, really what she's known for and one of her strengths. Anneli has had a kind of strange end to the front 9, and seeing that carried into the back 9 here, her timing is looking a little bit unusual, and she seems to be a little bit hesitant sometimes about how or what she wants to throw. Not that time. I mean, that was committed. Almost chucks it in for 2. As I said, she's having a hard time. She might just be fed up with it and moving on from that now to better and stronger sides of her back 9.
Yeah, hopefully opposite part of the basket there for Silva, up high on the band after Anneli almost throws it in. Kristin smelling blood in the water, just ready to end this thing right here and now. On the hole with the perfect pace and angle. Just, I mean, what an amazing putt.
And walks it down. She's like a disc golf Terminator right now, man. Everything's looking smooth. It's looking easy. Doesn't matter if she's close or far on the green.
In a way, that feels like the nail in the coffin almost. I mean, at this point, she's 9 strokes up. 9 strokes with 8 to play. On a course like this, you know, something has to go real wrong for this to get out of hand. She's got it in the bag, but never give up. You know, Silva won't.
And these other players, interestingly, you see Silva right now with her phone in her left hand. Watching her play over this weekend, she is almost constantly updating the scores to understand where she is in the standings and maybe informing her shot and putting decisions. Interesting to see, because you don't really see her lay anything up anyway, but it's interesting to speak to her mindset as a competitor. She wants to know what's going on the course in front and behind her. I guess here on lead card there's nothing in front of her, but hole 11.
Yeah, but whatever works for you. Sorry, go ahead.
281 meter par 5 here. You have a straight shot off the tee as the fairway then slowly bends to the right. You have this huge guardian tree, really stunningly beautiful. A lot of different ways to access the green. You can go around it on the left as the drone flies with a forehand or Enheiser backhand. A lot of players will opt to play the pure hyzer on the right side. You can also just go straight at it and hope you sort of filter through. It's another forgiving hole that allows you to play to your strengths. And we'll see Kristin kick us off here.
She's been smushing this drive the last couple of days. This one's hyzering out, but she's had eagle putts 2 days in a row. That one's out of position. Some of the nicest drives I've seen in a very long time, though, the last couple of days. She played the wind perfectly.
You got to look at Ida's distance here. Doesn't quite turn it over, I think, as much as she wanted, but will fade just in time before that tree, leaving her an open look over to the right side. Silva as well now. Hyzer release, playing a soft understability, gets the slow turn and fade back at the end. A very clean S-shape flex right down the middle.
Yep, nice skip on the end of it too. Extra 15 meters right there. Good ground play. This is looking good. Getting that full flight. A little bit of lift there in the end, fading out. Pretty big D.
Anneli using a little bit more width than the others, but to a great result. We have Ida up first. This hole playing is a par 5. I guess you can swing it out quite far left on the second, to then sort of swing back on the third.
Yeah.
You don't need to beat the tree on that second shot if you want to play for birdie.
You can still get the birdie, yeah. Just move up the fairway and make sure you get through that tree at the end. It's a wicked guardian tree. But as you said, you know, it's more accessible than it looks. You can get underneath it, you can go around it, but it's quite an obstacle in its own right. Beautiful one.
We see Anneli's look now.
Commitment. Nice follow through.
Flat on the left, turns it over towards the tree.
That's a pretty tough place to be right there. Kind of no man's land. How do you get up to the basket there?
It is an eagle look, though.
That's true. Yeah, you have to get creative to get up there close for the birdie, but she's so near that she should be able to bank it. Kristin overturns that, so one left, one right.
And I think this is a great example of just how forgiving that course is, that she could very much still birdie despite an imperfect tee shot, a not great second shot, but with a good third one, she may give herself a look, and she looks to have pierced through.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty common theme here, is that the fairways are wide. You know, there's obviously obstacles. In this hole, that guardian tree plays a huge role in what you shoot, but it allows you to make mistakes and still not take a huge number.
It's definitely not particularly punishing as far as professional level courses go, but the pros love it.
It's so much fun, man.
It's just unanimous across the board. Everybody I've asked really enjoys playing here, not just for the great course design and the fun shot selection, but also for just the feeling of it. It's a pretty special place.
And the nature's amazing, so well maintained. Tons of beautiful wildlife, these enormous ancient trees. It feels special when you're here, and you can tell that this park has been well cared for centuries.
Yeah, it's a fairy tale. Disc golf dreamland. Solid birdie there from Anneli. 3 down now on the round. Able to shake out those nerves without too much trouble. Seems like she's back on track. Par for Kristin. Not the hole you'd expect her to par after having 2 days in a row eagle looks. Nonetheless,
A few cumulative mistakes, they add up. Still no damage to that scorecard. Here we are on hole 12, an 84-meter par 3 over the pond. A nice backslope to this green allows players to maybe give it a nice little run. You know, you can fire one into the hill and give it some pace. What you really just want to avoid is going short or clipping one of those branches that will slow you down and leave you in the drink. This is one of the few holes where you can take a bigger number here, maybe. Some danger for sure.
look at this. Oh, so good. Right on point. She's very, very accurate.
And to finish my point there, this could be a separator for the non-Kristins, you know, looking to maybe gain a stroke on her.
Absolutely.
But so well done by Silva there.
Yeah, this is kind of their last hope, really, at this point.
Right.
We're running out of time, you know. She's already distanced herself to the point where
And,
very
you know,
like
Kristen's just going to send this high. She's going to push it with some good pace. That's an early release, however.
She got away with that. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
those
lie.
trees can shut you down sometimes from entering the green. She's fortunate to fight through them.
Very lucky. That could have been the mistake that just, opened that door a little bit. If that would have been knocked down and into the water without crossing it on the other side, you can rack up a number pretty quick, even if you're 1,000 rated player. So there you go. Ida also getting some tree love.
And a similar landing zone for her there, just a few meters further away than Kristen's. We see her up first now, putting for her birdie laterally across the hill. No danger behind the basket. Although still a little bit tentative, I think, really just trying to do some damage control. Do you think that was a full bid or just a calculated layup?
Hard to tell. It was kind of something in between, maybe. Didn't look like a fully committed run, but then it had, a bit of height on it, so she might have been giving it a really soft bid.
Anneli looking up the hill as well now. Fades just a touch early for her. Had the height and the pace. Just a touch off on the width. Silva, though, left with this short putt. I think very unlikely she misses that. She cleans up the birdie 2 here on hole 12.
7 down for the round, so doing everything she can to keep pace with Kristin. Unfortunate she went OB on 8, or she would be 2 strokes closer. That could maybe make things feel a little bit different, but as it stands, we got a 7-stroke difference here between first and second. And Rachel Turton is out there doing some things. She's also still in contention for second place, without a doubt.
Rachel, a very strong tee to green player here in the FPO field. We see the standings currently. Rachel in third behind Kristin and Silva, with Anneli and Ida 2 strokes behind Rachel, tied for 4th.
Hey everyone, Gannon here, and I want to invite you to compete in the Power Disc Golf Academy Championship Series. This is the only professional amateur nationwide disc golf series, and everyone is welcome to compete. Qualifier events will be held in cities across North America. If you place high enough at a qualifier event, you'll earn the invitation to compete in our championship event at Eagles Crossing Disc Golf Course. Scan this QR code for dates and locations of the qualifying events. We hope to see you there.
Yep, hole 13, par 3, 90 meters. A little bit downhill, maybe slightly left to right. Some overhanging branches here on the right with the OB as well. One of the easier holes on the course, in my opinion, 2.62, so definitely a birdie hole, if there is any, which there are actually quite a lot.
Most of the course, actually, especially for these players. But just avoid the OB to the right, and you can be quite comfortable. For that reason, I think the backhand is the most popular play, although the forehand can work for sure. It just brings that danger into play. Silva so smooth.
Oh, yeah. Hyzer flip with a putter. Dream. Just right there next to the basket. She's so smooth with it. Anneli again with the backhand, but this one working more that left to right angle as opposed to Silva's dead straight shot. And that one's mid-circle too.
Looked a little bit abbreviated on the form, maybe an early release.
Through.
Yeah. As we see Kristin just playing well to the safe side. That late overstability swings her back in around those branches. Really nicely done, and full use of the fairway available to her while staying completely danger-free. We see Ida now as she shapes this slightly understable backhand as well.
Getting a nice drift, but leaving some work left to do for that birdie.
Go to Anneli, who I expect to see a run here from. And it was. Certainly had the height. You saw the determination and focus in her eyes. She's aware that she needs to make a push if she wants to get that 3rd or above. Currently tied 4th. Ida's downhill birdie putt now, from just within the circle.
Very nice. Touch low, but gets the nubs to bounce her up into the chains. She's feeling that. Getting things going. Still battling for podium spot.
And very comfortable for Kristin there. finds herself 9 down through the first 13 holes. Pretty impressive pace and very difficult to catch. I believe shooting the hot round at this point while already being the leader. Impressive stuff here. As we see these remaining tap-ins, Silva absolutely parking it. 8 down for the round, almost matching Kristin's incredible pace.
Yep.
Here we are on hole 14, a 209-meter par 4. This initial shot is a straight to leftwards moving shot. For a lot of the players, it's a hyzer or hyzer flip. You want to try to get through this gap as the drone flies, and to the left onto this sloping hill fairway, and then fight your way up to the green. It's 2 pretty big shots. It's softly uphill the entire way, which will naturally add more distance, but it's also about how and when you time the fade on your shot, how much overstability you choose to use compared to just working the angles a little bit. You want some pretty glidey shots here.
Yep, averaging right there at the par, 4.0.
Silva has found 3 in a row. We'll see if she can make it 4 now.
Nice swing. Just got to beat that tree and you're good. There she does it. Those horse chestnut trees are in full bloom right now. So pretty the way they just kind of sprinkle down flower petals onto some of the greens and fairways here. Rain has started. And Kristin in the rough.
That'll be a tricky birdie. Unless she has some sort of lucky window to punch out of, it's effectively out of play. But I've seen it before from in there, so I don't want to rule her out just yet.
It's going to take some luck and skill to end up in a place that has a window and then to have the skills to get it up to the basket. Nice shot there from Ida. Nothing wrong with that at all. Right where you need to be. Just cutting the hole in half. Yeah, interesting swing there. What do you take away from that? It looked like it was not a proper follow through, but then like she wanted to kind of like
get over on it a little bit,
like
right?
after it was like the follow through was an afterthought.
Yeah, it looks a little bit different than the form we've seen from her previously. Potentially, that's a nice looking move.
That's better. That was more fluid.
Yeah, she crushed that one.
Still a little short.
I wonder, can it be contributed towards some off-season injuries? I know that she's dealing with, as you said, a chronic injury which can come and go over the season. But what's important is that she's here, she's on the lead card, she has a chance to battle. And that's really all you can ask for, particularly at a DGPT elite event.
Yeah, she's been playing really well all season in Estonia. She's got a couple victories already, put in some super highly rated rounds, so it's looking like she's just moving on up.
As the rain begins to fall now, Ida finds herself just shy of the circle, 11 meters looking uphill for the birdie. And I would not be surprised to see Kristin lay it up. But I speak far too soon because she did have a lucky window that I mentioned to punch out of, and really nice use of that pretty tiny gap.
Yeah. It's unreal power forehand, keeping it low, just drilling it out from a really tight spot and getting herself right on the circle's edge for a birdie look after seeming to be completely out of position. And after shots like that, the field has to just wonder, what do they got to do? You know, even when she slips up, she still got a birdie look. So
shank isn't enough to keep her away from the basket, and she has this uphill putt.
Gives it a chance. Can't be too upset about that.
Will be tapping in her par. We see now Ida from the knee.
Yeah. Chain out, left side. It was low and left. A little too far left to catch. Solid bird there. And Silva, who doesn't have an umbrella with her, so she's kind of exposed to this fairly moderate downfall at the moment. Downfall.
It may seem unprepared to some, but to be honest, I kind of respect it. She's in for whatever's going to come on the course. And logistically as well, traveling with a big umbrella is way harder than without one.
That's a good point.
The forecast leading up to this weekend looked pretty good. I'll admit I was another person who didn't really bring an umbrella to the place. But hey, she's well prepared and hopefully able to find the grip that she needs in these wet conditions.
Yeah, we'll find out. Hole 15, par 4, 188 meters, downhill all the way. Some OB lines that you have to think about, especially when it's raining here. The grass might be slick, might get yourself a little skip. Hard to tell, but mostly wide open and downhill. Very fun shot to throw. Just watch the disc fly. Another one of these pretty downhill shots with lush greenery all about. FPO basket here, tucked on the right side. Very birdieable, 3.79 average. It's one you want to get.
Silva currently sitting on 4 birdies in a row here on hole 15. Playing a soft hyzer flip. She keeps it very close to the inside right. Does fade left at the end. That will help her angle a little bit, and I think the distance was enough to certainly give herself a chance at birdie, but she'll have to work her way around those late trees blocking the green.
She's pretty far on the right. You know, having the forehand would help in that case. She doesn't really rely on it. She has been working on it in the off season, as we see Kristin skip OB. But yeah, she's so good with the turnover lines that I'm never going to count her out. Even on what looks like a forehand shot, she'll put some serious touch on those discs.
Certainly, Silva has proven she is not restricted to any one shot shape or shot direction. Very comfortable left to right, right to left, or straight.
Yeah, one of the best at angle control in the game, in my opinion.
This is some great angle control. Finds the long Anheuser turnover with the late fade and the skip for extra distance. You can see that was really generous to the right side and still gets dragged way left, close to the OB line. It can come into play very quickly.
The fairway does slope from right to left, and you have to take that into consideration when you choose your landing spot.
And Anneli is going to pump this one up there, but I would say birdie is pretty much out of play for her after she hit that big tree early on. I think par at best, and she's given herself a downhill step putt to try and lay up for the 4. Inspecting the weather conditions, she says, yeah, I'd rather stay dry.
Just keep that umbrella up for now. Really nice looking forehand from Ida. Coming in to the bullseye. Well done. Nice high five from the caddy and her dad.
Silva in a tricky spot. She's going to need to curve it around these branches. She gets caught up along the way, but has a long putt. Slightly downhill as well. Should reduce the power required to get a putt that distance. We'll see if she chooses to run it when we get there. We now have Kristin throwing her overstable forehand approach. That's just her bread and butter right there.
Makes that look easy time and time again. So technically sound. That had a bit of a chance, it looked like. Chain high coming in, just short. Or a little right, perhaps. Look at this. Oh, my goodness, the range.
Wow.
A little smile from Sylvie. You don't see it too often, but even she is impressed with that result, I think.
She's gotten herself 5 in a row now. You can't not be happy with that, particularly when you're making putts from that distance. Wow.
Yeah, she is unbelievable. The putting. It's always been good and just seems to get better and better with time. It's really, you know, raising the bar for the FPO division, I think. Of course, you got Owen Scoggins over in the States, but Silva's just looks nicer.
I think, to be honest, if you asked pretty much any FPO European disc golfer who is the best putter in the FPO field right now, I think all of them would say Silva. I think it's well known, at least. Yeah. Of course, there's Kristin, who can put anything in from circle 1 or circle 2, but she's more well-rounded, and I think her putting is less integral.
Yeah, if you haven't seen disc golf in person, you really ought to. It can change your life. Get your tickets at discgolfprotour.com. Oh, this is you. Yeah. Go
All
on.
good. All good. We're enthusiastic to break down the hole.
Tried to steal the beautiful par 5 from you.
It's
Go
a
ahead.
272-meter hole. It goes straight and then softly bends to the right for the second and third shots. You have the width to manage the slope left to right, but more so the ceiling. We see as the drone gets here, you need to manage something under or around these branches and try to find the full flight using what little airspace you have between the slope and the hanging branches. As you get to this stunning green, it just shapes so nicely for the right-handed backhand distance line. That flex on the second or third shot to access the green is just so beautiful.
This is a gorgeous hole. Start to finish, just nothing but absolute things to love about it. It's quite a bit easier for the FPO to play this intended gap. But Silva gets caught up at the edge of it. Seems like she's on the good side of it at least, but not as much distance as you want off the tee. This is pretty good, but highs her and out of fair, but actually maybe not what you're looking for either. Ends up under that tree with this down slope, bad footing. Could be not ideal really. Slip on the tee from Kristin, and it still seems to be online. Getting the skip into a perfect spot.
That really is the sweet spot that you want to get to. You can just throw straight and give yourself a birdie look, but if you can move right, it will make your life a little bit easier. Anneli looking to do the same. She battles the inside corner and looks to have not fully fought through. She will still be obstructed on the next one, but you see her with a smile there.
Seems like the rain stopped. Umbrellas are down. Still in a bit of a tight spot, but able to make it work. Trying to get as far up there as she can, and she's done well. She can attack that still for birdie. Anneli, somewhere in there, deep in the cabbage, shaping a good shot. For being out of position, she did pretty well. Okay, the end of it maybe might have to deal with another ceiling, but got good distance out from there.
That was really well done. Ida playing pretty much a pure hyzer there. Flipped up a little bit for the distance, but never got to flat. And that will open her up for a hyzer into the green on her next shot. Here we see Kristin.
Busting a nice move on this one. Hyzering out a wee bit, but there should be plenty of space to get up and down fairly easily from there. Anneli up next. Nice little Anheuser shot. Can it flex back? Catches a branch, but ends up in the middle of the fairway anyhow. You mentioned that beautiful green. That's got 3 of those big mature horse chestnut trees that I was talking about. Massive ones. And it's really nice to be here at the time of the year when they're in bloom.
And a great angle there from behind Silva, showing just how small the height window available to you is if you want to get all the way. Silva did that to perfection. Finds herself in circle 1 on the green. We go now to Ida. More on that left side. She has to shape the hyzer through the gap. Some may argue it's a little bit easier than flipping up a straight shot, but you still need to manage both the long straight as well as early left tree lines from there. Anneli looking to push this forehand left of the basket. The late fade back to the right on the forehand. Basically just hit the pin. Skipped by it by just a few centimeters.
So good. All you need in this case, get yourself up on that green. Kristin, yep, fights through. Right there in the circle. Ida looks pretty good, but just a little shy. Online, but needed a touch more power to get it up in the basket. Oh, rare miss from that distance for Kristin. I think at this point she knows she's won the tournament, and maybe it's kind of hard to just continue to execute on that level that she was to earn that distance from the field. Silva gets one on her, though. 4 strokes with 2 to play.
Look at that
Not
Saarinen
quite
scorecard.
over.
She's
Yeah.
can't do much better than she has in the last 6 holes so far. We'll see if she can maintain that momentum on the final 2. Still ahead of us. But score-wise, multiple strokes still left to catch up to Kristin as she taps this putt in for par here.
Yeah, another surprising par on the par 5. Wouldn't quite expect her not to birdie it, but can't get them all, and she's got them most. Hole 17, way uphill. Par 425 meters from the FPO pad. I guess it's straight up the hill. I mean, it's way more uphill than it looks. Up towards the castle, this fortified ground. This beautiful Renaissance Gothic castle in the background. OB on the left, big guardian tree on the right that we're passing right now. You got to pick your side around it. Left side is the most common route, the most sensible in most cases. But if you feel like it, you can work yourself over to the right side and come in with the hyzer. I haven't seen that high of a success rate with that approach to it.
Yeah, the intended line from the designer surely does seem to be that left side entrance to the green. Throw one straight shot that gets you as much of an angle as you're willing to risk, given that OB to the left side. Silva just pumps one very straight up the hill, and that's really all you need.
Nicely done. Ida up next. Backhand, nice and low, straight, a little bit of fade. Fine position. No worries from there. Shape something up to the green. Notice Ida's really studying the other players, really like kind of a student of the game, still absorbing information and experience that'll help her in her career. Still a very young player developing, but
if there's a card that she could be playing with that has experience at this top stage, I mean, these 3 players, Anneli, Kristin, and Silva, just wealth of experience and skill from each of them.
Very good point. So Kristin, the final hike up this hill, marching towards her first European win of the season. It's going to be an exciting summer of huge events, compact. Nice to get started with the win, and really excited to see who's going to take down these tournaments this summer. 2 majors, handful of elites, European championships, all coming up in the next couple months. So we're in the heat of it. Beautiful approach there from Silva.
And all those tournaments will be available to you on MDG Media. Hence why you should consider subscribing if you haven't already. We are close to 50K, and what a threshold that would be. If you want to support European disc golf coverage, you can do so through likes, comments, and subscribes, as well as the Patreon. Support our channel for more disc golf coverage in the future.
I mean, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, for the love of God, just push the button.
I mean, what are you doing? Let's be honest. It's a questionable decision if you've made it this far. Round 3, back 9, and you still have not hit it. But hey, to each their own. You can watch it either way. We're bringing you this amazing coverage regardless. Silva to get 7 birdies in a row.
And this green is famous for birdies. We had the peacock incident yesterday. That was a magic moment, such a majestic animal, and just cheering along
for the birdie putts, I mean.
Yeah, for Nicole, the local hero. That was a really deeply symbolic moment and beautiful moment. Overhand tap in for birdie from Anneli, getting her to 4 down. Check out the reel on MDG Media's Instagram if you haven't seen it yet. You'll love it. Kristin taps in for her birdie. 10 down for the round. Yes. And another star frame jingle. Great to hear it, great to see it. Enacting the tradition. Last hole.
And what an exciting one. This 136-meter downhill par 3 plays closer to maybe 90, maybe 100 maximum, but it's really just about angle control. You do have OB lining the left side, although it's pretty far away. It's quite a generous hole, as all the others are, throwing down towards the gallery that are often hunched directly behind these visual banners. players are going to throw something on a hyzer release up to flat or try and flex some overstability and use more of the width. Either way, pick your shot, execute in front of the crowd, take home a potential tournament win. I think holes 1 and 18 on this course are just iconic.
Oh, it's so fun to play, so fun to watch. Silva Saarinen looking for her 8th consecutive birdie. Flying past the basket into circle 2 with an uphill putt. That's a nice way to play the hole. Give it a chance to ace, give the crowd something to be excited about. And if you don't quite get it in the basket on 1, bang a huge highlight putt on the 2nd. That's Silva's plan for sure. Ida, a little high, nose up perhaps. And fading over towards the left side. It's fine though, pretty easy par from there. Or she can give it a run if she feels it, but might not be necessary.
Kristin playing a conservative shot there on both the height and the angle. Never really gave it a chance to do too much and puts herself simply in the fairway. Going to be probably laying up from that distance, considering the circumstances. Sure. No reason to take on any additional risk. She knows what is in the palm of her hands. Anneli giving it a little more juice.
That's nice. Look at that. Down play. That's how you draw it up. Landed about 15, 20 short. Sliding up to the pin. Kristin needed no more than what she had there. She's just going to lay up, take the title. Her first Konopiście Open win. One of the few courses she doesn't have a win on worldwide, especially top, legendary courses. She's done it all. So another trophy on the mantle, another notch in the belt, another piece of the legacy that is impeccable.
And another statement to the FPO field of what's to come this season. If you want to be beating Kristin and winning Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite tournaments, it will take quite a lot to pull off.
Yeah. She's really rose the whole level of the division, with her ability and with her performances. Now you have to shoot these 1,000-rated tournaments in order to get a win, and people are doing it. People are doing it because they have to, Without Kristin, I don't think we would see that. She's really kind of shown what's possible, and she's inspiring all these other ladies to up their game worldwide.
And we're seeing a great birdie putt for Anneli there to finish her round at 16 under.
Solid performance. Tied for 4th. Rachel Turton going to take that other podium spot from the top of the chase card. Great tournament for her. She had the lead after round 1. Things didn't go her way on moving day, but she'll get on the podium, and your champion, Kristin Lätt. It's a hug from Silva right away. These two have had so many great battles this year and over the last couple of years.
Konopiště Open presented by Discmania FPO champion, Kristin Lätt.
Christoph Novak handing over the trophy. They run such a great event here. So much work goes into this. What a nice moment here.
As you said, for a player of that caliber, one of the few courses she had left to win, find that trophy on.
Because I truly am very happy to be back here. I feel like this is one of the places where I actually stepped up on the big stage and where people could learn who I am, and I had the chance to play with the big names. So I'm really happy to be back here and be one of the main contestants for the win. So it's exciting to see how far I've come, and what you've done with the course. It always looks like a fairy tale. It was a pleasure playing here, and I hope to meet you back here in the future as well.
All right, crowd, give it up for your champion, Kristin Lätt.
Always the best victory speeches from Kristin. They were so inspirational, so genuine, so heartfelt.
The poise of a true professional, as we see Silva taking that 2nd place, Rachel in 3rd, Anneli and Ida tied in 4th, and the field left behind them. We appreciate you so much for joining us here. This exciting kick-off to the Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe Series of 2025. We couldn't ask for a better venue, better action, an incredible performance as well. Andrew, always a pleasure.
Absolutely, likewise. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. for this really fun event. We got MPO still coming up. Join the MDG family, Patreon. Appreciate all the support.